This video outlines the process of exporting variable content from an InDesign layout into a Fusion Pro PDF to make a template. One of the steps in the process for building a template is drawing in the variable frames. The actions in this video would eliminate that requirement, as the frames will already be in place in the document once exported as a PDF. The Fusion Pro plugin for InDesign provides a way to designate frames as variable in the layout, which may then be controlled in the Fusion Pro PDF based on the values in a data source. Anything that has the ability to change in a document is considered a variable. Variable frames can control text or graphic content along with some other specialized material. A design piece can contain both static and variable content. Static content will always live in the base art layer or bottom layer of the PDF, with variable frames maintaining their layered order in the layout. To select frames as variable, open the Fusion Pro palette in InDesign by going to Window, Fusion Pro. Using InDesign's black selection tool, click the frame in the layout to be designated as variable. When selected, it will appear with boxes in the corners and midpoints of the frame. Next, check the Export As box on the Fusion Pro palette. If the frame contains text or graphic content, the Fusion Pro palette should recognize that. A couple of important points while selecting frames. Graphic frames will have a bullseye in the center. Avoid clicking that spot as it selects the content but not the frame. You must select the frame. Each frame must be selected and designated as variable individually. No variable content can exist in a master page of a layout. Continue selecting each frame and designating it as variable. In this layout, there's one text frame on the front, two text frames on the back, and one graphic frame. To export the document, click the flyout at the top right of the Fusion Pro palette and select Export Document. In the Export menu, identify where to save the PDF, the file name, the bleed, if any, and specify the PDF style as needed. Two quick points tied to the bleed and the PDF export settings. When the bleed is defined back in the document setup in InDesign, that designated space will populate the bleed in the Fusion Pro export menu. However, the bleed will be specified in points. If the document contains bleed but was not specified in the document setup, the bleed may be defined at this point. The PDF export settings come from the list under the File menu for Adobe PDF presets. In this example, all the available options are the standard Adobe settings, but you have the ability to use and select from any of the custom ones you may have created. Once everything in the export menu has been defined, click Save. The exported PDF will open in Acrobat. To assist in creating a variable PDF, the Define Data Source menu will open to guide you through that first step in the template creation process, which will be covered in the next video. That concludes this video on exporting from InDesign to a Fusion Pro PDF.